Hey, you! Before you watch this, pause the video and subscribe to SemiPro right now.
What's going on YouTube? Ryan back again with another video, and before we start the video, I want to make a little bit of a call to action to you guys. Only 3% of you watching this video are subscribed. That means that 97 out of every 100 people who click on this video aren't subbed to the channel. So please, if you enjoy this content that we're making, subscribe down below. We make videos daily, upwards of 2 and even 3 times a day. Okay, now that you guys are subbed, let's get right into the video. Today, we're talking about Teddy Bridgewater. He's the new starter for the Carolina Panthers, but the question still remains. Is he a franchise quarterback? I think it depends on your definition of franchise quarterback, but I do think that Teddy has the potential. It really seemed like Bridgewater was well on his way to being a top-tier quarterback, or at least a very consistent average one in Minnesota early in his career. He won Rookie of the Year and made a Pro Bowl in his 2 years as the starter for the Vikings, but then he tore his ACL in 2016, and his career got derailed. He lost the starting job in Minnesota and was forced to take a role as a backup in New Orleans. But when he got the playing time, he did very well. This past season, Bridgewater started 5 games and won all 5 of them in replacement for Drew Brees. He was one of the most highly touted quarterbacks during this offseason, and he has a 22-12 record as a starter and the highest ceiling of anyone who was on the block. He's still only 27 years old and has some years left of his prime. Carolina is riding on him to be their next franchise quarterback, and he might be the biggest QB question mark in all of football. But I think he can pull it off. First off, there isn't a lot of pressure on him to succeed. Carolina has had a few down seasons in a row and are now clearly in a retooling period. Matt Rule and Joe Brady were added as head coach and offensive coordinator, the first time either of which have filled those roles in the NFL. Rule was given a 7-year contract, so it's clear that Carolina is in it for the long haul. They also just moved on from their longtime starting quarterback in Cam Newton. This allows Teddy to come in as the future of the team on a 3-year contract. The expectations are also lower due to the defensive personnel, more specifically Luke Kuechly, who is one of the best players in franchise history and was one of the best linebackers in football who retired unexpectedly during the offseason. Bridgewater also has a lot of help on the offensive side of the ball that will help him easily get the ball to those targets. Christian McCaffrey, he's just dominant. He's the best running back in all of football. All defense's focus will be on him instead of Bridgewater. CMC can work out of the backfield as a receiver, and in fact, he's one of the best receivers in the league regardless of position, running back or receiver or tight end. He's also one of the best runners in football. Boxes will be stacked against Carolina, allowing for Bridgewater to have more space to work with on the perimeter to throw to his receivers. And his receivers are good. DJ Moore had a breakout year last year and was a top 10 receiver in football, at least as far as his statistics go. Then, during the offseason, Carolina added Robbie Anderson, who served as a number 1 in New York and can be a legitimate deep threat with Carolina. And even though Teddy's deep ball isn't the best, it is extremely beneficial to have a guy who can stretch the defense deep, which allows the underneath to open up. And Teddy is still capable enough to go deep every once in a while. And then there's Curtis Samuel. He's just an all-around solid receiver, and any team would want him as their number 3. Not to mention Ian Thomas, who broke out as a tight end last season, and could break out into being one of the next top young tight ends in the league. So, Teddy really just has free reign over Carolina. His mistakes will be blamed on the NFL inexperience of Rule and Brady, or the defense because they're without Kuechly, and he actually has the weapons to succeed. And I think that Rule and Brady are actually very good offensive minds. So I think Teddy will do pretty well, and if he doesn't, I don't think he will face the majority of the blame, and he'll get a relatively free pass. Overall, I think that Teddy has a pretty bright future in Carolina, and I think that he'll be pretty successful there.